So, I'm very pleased to welcome back a poet who performed with us, I think, for the first time last year, Anna Beecher. Anna is very busy at the moment. She's performing widely as both a poet and a storyteller. She's at Latitude, the festival in July, and she's in the process of writing a new play to be premiered, I think, at the Edinburgh Fringe this summer. So all that's going on. But she's still got time to come to this crowded venue, to be part of our occasion tonight. So I'm really pleased to welcome back Anna Beecher.
A friend of mine was telling me about how she was doing a show at the Edinburgh Fringe and hardly anyone turned up, and she thought, oh, I'm not going to be able to do the show, no one's coming. And then this one man came in with his dog, and so she was just performing to the one man and the dog, doing her one woman very serious play, and then at a certain point the man went out to the toilet and she was just performing to the dog. So, this is great, this is fine.
Did the dog like it? That's what it was, wasn't it?
The dog gave it 5 stars.
Right.
My first poem is called Always Come Home to You. I might flirt a little bit, just to see what it'll do. I might make a stranger look at me, but then I'll look right through. I know it's vain, my loved one, but you must do it too, and I always come home to you. I might dance like I have diamonds underneath my heels. I might glance like I have longings I'm longing to reveal. I might tug out a little tension to remember how that feels. But I always come home to you. I might forget a feeling and push you to remind me. I might sometimes question what's ahead and what's behind me, but at the end of the evening you'll know just where to find me, because I always come home to you. I might hear a little rumble and feel a little thunder. I might choose to miss my train and stay out a little longer. I might stop in the station and for a second wonder why I always come home to you. I might really look at someone else and not know what to do. I might feel kind of angry that you're ruining the view. I might do every single thing I can to ignore this clue that I can't keep coming home to you. I might tell you that it's over because I'm almost sure that's true, and you might try and tell me it's not what I need to do and say we can burn the house down and build it up brand new so that I can keep coming home to you. I might stop rhyming now, but it is really hard to break a habit or a heart, and I think I need to take my stuff to my parents' house. Sorry. Thank you. I'm going to do... I had my order planned and I'm just throwing it out the window. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a new poem now. I feel like it's time. Yeah. I feel inspired. And I think I'm going to do my Elvis poem, which is super new. I wrote this yesterday/today. And it's called Elvis. It didn't start with the way she walked, in ankle-snap heels on hot concrete, silverfish stretch marks wriggling up into short shorts she's too old for. And it didn't begin with her voice, cracking like ice dissolving in Coke bubbles at the picnic, powder pressed over her lipstick. Would kissing her taste like licking a stamp? How long could he pretend? It didn't begin with her hair a sunlit mesh over her cheeks like the fuzz on a peach, stubble under the sleeves of her sundress, and the down on the nape of her neck that made him want to place a hand there. And it wasn't her skin so fair, pink and peeling over her nose, the smell of rose soap, the way she had fallen asleep with her feet on the curve of his car seat, and he touched her big toe with his earlobe. While he could go on and never end. It started when he saw her reflected in the toaster, and their eyes met in the silver, and he couldn't help but notice that she didn't look away. Oh, and how they kiss in the room next to his. Will his aching heart ever mend? Oh, Elvis can't help it. He's in love with the girl of his best friend. I've been trying to write that poem for ages because I really love that song, and I feel really sad for Elvis in that song. I really believe that he's been in this scenario. But every time I sat down to write it, I realised I was just writing out the lyrics of the song. This isn't, you can't perform this, Anna, this doesn't belong to you. I'm going to do a poem called Stroke City, about a place in Northern Ireland that some people call Derry, and some people call Londonderry, and some people call Stroke City, because it's sort of contentious and they don't want to label themselves as either side of that divide. Stroke City. For a bit, you slipped into the single-syllable explosion of calling him Dad. It thumped into conversations. We should go and see my dad. The airbag of the A inflating between tooth-bearing plosives. We had just met when he hurtled back into your orbit, and you spent a season sampling new intimacies, feeling for a fit with both of us. You began to hold my hand, and maybe it wasn't fate that had made you a man who loved his father's favourite bands, but it was a magic trick to unpick the past with. For a dry run at Rekindling, he took you skiing, and then we both went over to see him in a place he called Stroke City. You taking the wheel of his taxi when he rolled cigarettes, tobacco clinging to his thin legs, and the radio singing. Battles that had barely died down had left the town, illustrated and suspended between names. He explained your accent London to his Derry when it briefly punctuated his hurry to fill the space left vacant by years of missing conversations. And in the pub, between Virgin Mary shops, David Hay beat the beast from the east, and you were introduced, my son. The phrase as new as if you were newborn. He tugged you from your well-worn name into the similar syllables of the one you once went by, which you shrugged from your shoulders and said didn't feel right. And at some point that night, he began to regain the distancing hiss of his first name, the fricative forced through tight lips. Glasses piling up around you like yesterday's. The two of you drank as if there was no tomorrow. Thank you. I'm going to do another new one. This is called Light Bulb Moment. Oh, and it features, sorry, just got a disclaimer. It features a really sexist generalisation early on, but hopefully we'll move past that. Light bulb moments. You're looking at headphones in the kind of shop that only boys find fun. And it hits me. We've known each other in 3 seasons and never done this. We've bought beers, we've bought pizza and salad in the co-op, but we've never been in the kind of shop that sells light bulbs, cable ties, extension cords and toasters, mini mag-like keyrings and dog-shaped iPod docks. And we have got to leave. I want to tug your sleeve like a kid sick of Sainsbury's who is about to lie down on the floor before the trolley in a Tiananmen Square-style protest at the injustice of being somewhere so boring. And you're talking to me about over-ear versus in-ear. But I can't listen because I am thinking, this is where it starts. This is where the elasticated cornetto slips and my unicorn turns out to be a horse. You see, so far you have been useless. Utterly, joyfully useless. You have served no purpose, but given me hours of pointless, ridiculous joy. Unproductive hours of uncovering how each muscle sits beneath your skin, of writing an unnecessary new language of jokes, and we haven't changed a single light bulb or assembled a single flat pack. And I love that. But this is where it begins. This is where mermaids become manatees. You see, I've walked down this aisle before. I've fallen in love with light bulbs, with where shall we put the sofa? I almost bought an iPod dock in the shape of a dog. And somewhere between my Tassimo machine and my balcony covered in solar-powered fairy lights, my last love and I became useful. Practical features in each other's lives. We became, pick me up from work and I'll make a lasagna when we get home. We became, should we buy an odorator for the fridge? We stopped wasting time, searching our old, swollen city for new places, and we stopped wasting leftovers by investing in a blender to turn them into healthy soups. And maybe that's life. And maybe I do want a baby, and a steam mop, and a Labrador, and box sets, and to spiralise courgettes, but I feel sick surrounded by this stuff because I can't work out how to get the good bits without the rest, because everyone needs light bulbs. But we've all come out of the shop without the thing we went in for, clutching a mini mag-like keyring or a dog-shaped iPod dock. And you're holding up headphones. And you're a bit annoyed that I'm not listening. But I'm working out how to keep you a unicorn. And even though I've never been much of a mermaid, I'm scared I'm about to turn into a manatee. And that metaphor doesn't really work. It's really cheesy. And also, how would those two have a good time together? You know what I'm saying? You're holding up headphones. And I say, I have no opinion on headphones. And I can't talk about light bulbs. And you say, who said anything about light bulbs? Thank you.
Anna Beecher, unfortunately there'll be more from Anna in the second half, and some terrific new work. So look forward to some more later on. So.